So Jeff, being scared and afraid is a big business for some people. So what are your thoughts on all the ghost TV shows that are so popular today?
You're right. I mean, they are big business. I will admit, I am one of those guys where one of the guilty pleasures I guess I have in all those streaming networks that are available is I will watch and latch on to, a group that's doing this or a group that's doing this, and they all have their own little wrinkle, which I find amusing. I think I'm like everybody else. I laugh when they actually get scared on camera. I think that's kind of funny, and I'll chuckle with that. I always get intrigued when they think they've got evidence of something, and you're trying to, did you really hear that? Did you really see that? What's that really? So I love looking at that kind of stuff. I think though the real popularity of that stems from a reason that has nothing to do with ghosts. I think it really does stem from people who have a desire to connect to something beyond this life. And so there is, so when ghost hunters go out and they try to figure out the why of this is happening here, or is this a good spirit or a bad spirit, there is within everyone a desire or a fascination to somehow get evidence, if you will, that there's something beyond this life. I think that's the end for the shows. It's not really horror or ghost or being scary. I think that's where their audience comes from. Now, then you start breaking into a different audience, right? I mean, then, okay, but this is an audience that's fascinated with ghosts. This is an audience that is fascinated with this, or have had an experience that they can't explain, so they're looking for help trying to get a handle on it. And I think it just says a lot about our culture. Because if you've watched the shows like I have, and I'm sure that our guests have as well, more often than not, there's nothing there. And I find it fascinating when the shows try to explain away or debunk the stuff. And for the most part, they can. But usually there's one or two pieces of evidence that they don't have any explanation for. And now we go back to what we talked about before. That's paranormal. There is no explanation. It doesn't seem to work in a way that you can understand, and you can't find any category or box to put it in. That's paranormal. But it doesn't mean it's spiritual, and it doesn't mean it's demonic or angelic or anything else. It's just something you can't explain. And I think there's a lot of that goes on in the dark on those shows that you have no control over. The best part of those shows is when you hear a noise. How many times in your life have you been somewhere and you heard a noise and you didn't know what it was? Mm-hmm. If you do it on a kind of TV show, it's a ghost, right? I mean, something's after you. And so, I mean, we take the commonplace, and then we try to attach value to it that they shouldn't have to. And that's also because we're desiring to connect to something else. And so for our audience to remember, don't make anything more than it needs to be, and keep it all in perspective. I think the shows specifically that are on TV and stuff, they're entertainment. Yeah. That's what we need to watch. They just need to be entertainment. And if you like that kind of entertainment, great, have at it. And if you don't like it, don't ridicule the people that do like it, because they're fans. But by the same token, it also can be a lot of fun. And so I tend to look at it as comedy, but that's just me.